Namaste, yoga friends. Welcome to today's Kids Yoga Meets Astrology, and late this afternoon, early evening, I think it's at 4:30 Northeast time in the US, we are going to have the new moon exactly at the degree that it is going to be in complete conjunction, it's called, with the sun. When we have a new moon, that is when a moon appears dark or black. It's called a conjunction. That's almost side by side, basically, in the same path as the sun. And when they are conjunct or side by side, the sun cannot shine on the moon. So the moon appears dark. And it creates an energy because we, as humans, and little yogis, we are very affected by the moon. The moon affects our bodies because our bodies are mostly water, and that water is affected by the moon cycles. And so a new moon is a new beginning every month or every 28 days or so for a fresh start. It's in a different zodiac sign every month, and this month is no exception because the moon is in the sign of Virgo. So is the sun, by the way. So that is like double the Virgo energy. Now, I've always said to people who know me that Virgos make the best office people. If you run a business like I do, you want a Virgo to be your office staff. They are the ones that care about the details. They're the ones that dot every I, they cross every T. They are excellent office people. They are what you would call very anal. Sorry if that's not the best way to put it, but that's the way I'm going to put it, being from New York. And so Virgos are great at creating systems of how things should be done. Great thing for back to school time for most kids. They need some of that Virgo energy to get them organized. It's always difficult at first for kids going back to school because they have to get used to new teachers, new school, new environments, new friends, new classes, So Virgo energy is going to help your children get back into the swing of things with back to school. Even if they've been back to school for a month or they go year round like they do in some Carolina schools here. The Northeast schools, they just started, so I'm still on that system and time clock as far as things go. You can take the New Yorker out of New York, take the girl out of New York. You can't take the New York out of the girl. That's me. I fit that description perfectly. So back to Virgo and the new moon. What you want to focus on for your children during this season? Well, if you have a child that's not very organized, this is the time to help them get organized. Help them set up their systems. Help them set up if they use a binder still, if they use folders for school, in their own rooms at home or desk area at home. Help them set that up. Set them up for success. Your kids need your guidance. It doesn't matter what their age is, to set them up for success. And so this is the time you take step A, step B, step C equals step D. And so keep that in mind with your children. They are trying to juggle a lot of things right now, and their emotions are one of them. Right now, it helps their emotions. We are in an earth element, meaning Virgo is an earth element, and earth elements, they seem to move a little bit slower, but they're very practical, okay? And so you have that kind of energy. Virgos also care about health. They relate to health. So if you've got any health concerns or issues, the Virgo season is a good time to take care of it, or they might be showing up during Virgo season. So that makes sense. Also, with your children, one of the things that is important to do is to kind of balance this earth energy. We have 5 planets in retrograde right now, appearing to go backwards. And Mercury in retrograde is ending tomorrow, but it doesn't really end quite then. it kind of stations. Mercury will stand still, it looks like, for a week to 10 days to almost 2 weeks, until I think October. And what that means is that Mercury energy is going to be really strong right then, meaning your electronics will still be affected, your cars will still be affected, your travel arrangements will still be affected, and most important, Mercury, air sign of the mind, processing how your kids think, how you problem solve, how they problem solve in school, okay? This all comes into play, and it's going to almost need a jump start to get pushed forward. So with 5 planets in retrograde appearing backwards, that retrograde, they're also in this earth sign, and earth element, it's all moving a little bit slower. But not to worry, by the end of the month, some of those planets, especially Mercury retrograde, leading the pack, let's say, is coming out of that retrograde to make things appear a little faster. So let's just do a balance pose, because I feel like we need some more balance in the earth energy right now. I feel like we have too much earth energy going on. So we're going to do a balance pose. Now, to do this balance pose, if you're a yoga person, you have seen these. They're called a yoga block or a yoga brick. If you are not and you have like a book, you could use a book, but you don't even have to use anything, because there's 2 ways you can do this pose. So we're going to all get up, and we're going to do what I like to call the kite pose, but it's known as half moon. And so this, my friends, is the kite pose. But if you are a yogi, it's half moon. Now, if you don't have a yoga block or brick and nothing you can use in its place, you can go against a wall and have your child go to one side, which they absolutely love doing this, or have your child go to the other side. And that, my friends, is the half moon pose. And the half moon pose or kite pose I love, because it is a balance pose, but it brings in the element of air, and we need some air coming into the situation with Mercury, which is an air sign, going direct. And I know it might all be like, what is she talking about? Well, every planet, it has a energy mode, and every zodiac sign has an energy mode. And so when you're dealing with the planets and the zodiac signs, they all have an energy mode: earth, air, fire, water. And right now, just think, lots of earth, lots and lots of earth. So for tonight's new moon, I highly recommend take a bath, salt water. That's always good to do on a new moon. If you have crystals, I put out a bunch of my crystals today. And if you have crystals, you can put them out just like a full moon to get the energy. It's a really good new moon for the energy, to get the energy of the Virgo. Virgo energy is really good energy, and I can't finish today without a shout out to my favorite Virgo. I actually have a daughter who's in the sign of Virgo. Woo-hoo. So to my daughter Francesca, here's props to you. You have become an amazing mom and so good at organizing. And to all of you Virgos out there that had a birthday or have one, I know the season's almost over. Namaste, happy solar returns, happy Virgo days, but happy Virgo new moon. This is your moon to work with. The moon and the sun is shining on you. I'll see you next time.